In Exodus, we learned that God referred to himself as I am.
Hiya! Today, we're in the New Testament book of John. In John, we learn that Jesus told people that he is many different things. We call these the I am statements.
We are going to look at John 6:35, where Jesus said, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry again. Whoever believes in me will never be thirsty.
Jesus called himself the bread of life. I wonder what that means. Maybe he had a lot of dough. Or maybe people thought he was flaky.
Some of your jokes are really crummy.
I'm sorry. I'll try to do butter.
That's the yeast you could do.
Well, that's just how I roll.
Stop loafing around and get to the story.
The beginning of John chapter 6 is a well-known story about a miracle that Jesus performed. It happened near the Sea of Galilee, where Jesus was performing signs and wonders. He was also healing people, and crowds kept following him.
There were 5,000 men, plus women and children, and you probably know the rest of the story. A boy had 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, and Jesus blessed them, and it multiplied to become enough for everyone with leftovers. Jesus gave the people food to eat and provided them with bread.
I love this story. Jesus slips away, the disciples get in a boat that evening, and Jesus joins them by walking on water. And once he's on board, they immediately get to where they're going.
The crowd found Jesus the next day, and that's when Jesus teaches about being the bread of life.
He tells the crowd that they're just following him because he gave them food. But what they really need is him, the bread of life. They needed Jesus.
Many of the people who were gathered were just looking for a show. They wanted to be amazed.
They even reminded Jesus that Moses gave the people manna to eat when they were in the wilderness for 40 years.
But Jesus corrected them by saying that God supplied the manna. God gave his people this bread from heaven, this manna that they needed to live.
So God will supply what we need, and Jesus had just shown that to the people the day before when he gave them bread and fish to eat.
But Jesus was really concerned that the people would be able to believe in him and live with him in heaven one day.
When he said that he's the bread of life, he meant that he's the way to life. Bread gives us life because it's food that we need to live.
Jesus didn't come to entertain people with his miracles. He didn't come just to heal those who were sick. He came to be our bread of life. We are in Colombia today, where many people from our church and others in the area meet to make boxes of food for the community. The church is showing the community that Jesus is the bread of life by providing.
We're still in the middle of this COVID-19 pandemic. A lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people need help. And Jesus cares for all of them deeply. And he knows everything that's happening.
God has spoken to many people in the community and asked them to help take care of one another.
This is Lori Flick, the lady in charge here. One day, God changed Lori's life, and she decided to serve God with her whole life.
Jesus is everything. Keep your face to Jesus.
She is showing others that Jesus is the bread of life through her actions. Jesus said, I am the bread of life. He wants you to believe in him, and he wants to take care of you.
This bread is good.